Hello guys and welcome to Mistrology. I've got 10 motorcycle riding hacks or say tips for you today. I don't call myself an expert in bike riding. These are what I have learned over the period of time while in my riding career, which is like very short, but what I have learned is really important. Now the tip number one which I want to say with you is follow your line. When I say a line, I don't mean a straight one. What that means is that make an imaginary line while riding a motorcycle or a scooty or whatever two-wheeler you are riding and follow that imaginary line throughout the curve of the roads. And what it will do that if you will practice it for longer period of time, subconsciously you will become a precision rider. You will see that your cornering skills have gone way better, and your turning skills and your riding is, and that will also make you a safer rider. You'll see that in future. Now the tip number two is target fixation. What that means is that whenever you are riding a motorcycle or a scooty, don't focus your eyes on a target, on an object. Like, don't focus your eyes on a car going in front of you or a bike going in front of you or a scooty or whatever going in front of you. Don't focus on that. Now where to focus on? You should always focus on the roads, not on the objects which are going in front of you. Okay, let me tell you an example of that. As I have already told you that I learned bike riding with my Pulsar 200 NS. Before that, when I was in college, like 7, 8 years ago, back then I was never really into biking. But one of my friends asked me to ride a Pulsar 150. So that day on the evening, I rode the Pulsar 150 for like half a kilometer away, and I got confident over it that I have learned bike riding and all. I was really happy that I learned biking in 15 minutes. I rode that half a kilometer stretch on Pulsar 150 and I thought it's so easy. So next day when I woke up, I took out the bike and we wanted to bring the morning milk to make our tea and all. One of my friend who told me how to ride the bike, he sat on the pillion and I started riding it. And you know what, in colonies you will always see roads are usually 90-degree crossroads. So I was going on a straight road. Ahead of me was a T section, so I was the eye of the T. Ahead of me was a wall and the two opposite roads were there, so I had to take a right turn. What happened that I was looking at the wall. I was looking at the wall and I was going towards that. And try that, guys. If you are on a road and if you are looking and if you are focusing at something, you will go towards that. That's the beauty of target fixation. So I was looking at the wall. My friend who was sitting behind me was shouting, "Take the turn, take the turn." What happened that I was focusing on that wall and I was going towards that. I could not take the turn. Then he shouted, "Abhe bhai, brake to maar le." I hit the brake. Front disc brake. Road had lot of gravels. Result you all know. And you know, you might, if you could see that there is this car, there is car over here and there is car in my hand. So that brings us to tip number 3, which is buy a proper riding gear. At least spend 3 to 10,000 on riding gears. It doesn't matter if you're riding a 100cc bike or if you're riding a 1000cc bike. If your body is going to hit the tarmac, damage will be done to both the bodies. One who was riding a 1000cc and the one who was riding a 100cc. So don't think that if you have a 100cc motorcycle, you don't need riding gears. And believe me, with the riding gears on, you are going to look way cooler than you look normally. You can easily convince your parents for that. If you cannot afford a riding jacket, just buy gloves. The tip number 4 is start using your front brakes more and more. If you were not using it that much until recently, start using that. Start practicing panic braking. What you do is that choose a straight stretch of around half a kilometer, race your bike, then use the brakes. And the combination of both the brakes is really good. But you should use more of your front brake rather than your rear brake, because that is the thing which is going to save you in case of a panic or a situation. Start practicing it. Do that again and again. Suppose if you are going somewhere and you have got an empty road and nobody is coming behind you, try doing that. That really helps in your braking capabilities and that really makes you a better and capable rider. The tip number 5 is don't use your clutch while braking. Lot of people have this notion that using a clutch while braking saves your engine. It's nothing like that. Your engine is already at slower speed and most of the manufacturers recommend engine braking. So don't use your clutch, just release the throttle and hit the brake, because that will result in a better response time in your braking, because the engine itself provides the deceleration effect to your brakes. Now the tip number 6, which I believe is really very important. Now while practicing panic braking, if your bike doesn't have an ABS or even if it has one, use continual braking. What that means is that don't hit your brakes in a one go. Hit your brakes, let your wheels get locked, release it again, apply it again, and that way you will be able to avoid the crash which might happen if your wheels get locked. So that is the best way to learn the panic braking. Use continual braking. Do not hit your brakes at a one go. Tip number 7 is related to your behaviors. Ride for your pleasure. Don't get too excited and leave your ego home, because your ego is the reason of lot of crashes which occur on the roads. So be safe. Whatever you do on roads, do only if you are confident enough. Don't let your emotions flow or adrenaline flow by seeing others. Be intelligent and be cool while on roads. Tip number 8. I know this seems small, but it's a very big one. Adjust your mirrors and start using them. And if you get a practice of using them, you will see that you have become a much better rider. And also start using your indicators. And when I say that start using your indicators, I know that all of you use your indicators while taking a turn or changing the lane. But what I mean by that is remember to cancel your indicators when you have taken the turn, because this is the single most important thing which I see in most of the people. They take the turn, they have used the indicator, but what they do is they forget to cancel the indicators. So what you should do from now on is that always remember to cancel your indicators. I don't say use your indicators, I would say cancel your indicators. Now the tip number 9 is maintain a good body posture while riding your bike, because that will result in a less reaction time in case of any incident, and also that will reduce the fatigue which you might have after riding your bike. Tip number 10 is you are on Indian roads. Never expect anything from anybody on roads, because after the incident has occurred, blaming is never going to fulfill your losses. Be wary of what you are doing and what's coming and react accordingly. So that's it guys. I hope that these tips will be helpful for you. If you like the video, do hit the like button, and if you have any more tip to tell, just tell them in the comment section below, and tell me if you want more videos like that. Do connect me on my Facebook page www.facebook.com/mestrology. Thank you for watching.